name is Veronica Whitley. I'm a Homeworks by Precept consultant and homeschool mom here in Texas. Today, let's take a look inside of economics. Economics is a one-semester class and is generally taught in the 12th grade year alongside American government. This course is taught from a conservative, biblical approach. It's designed to give your student a working knowledge of basic economic principles and issues, and to help them navigate these issues from a biblical perspective. In your economics textbook kit, you'll receive the Teacher's Edition, your student textbook, your student activities manual, the student activities answer key, your test packet with all of your chapter tests, and the answer key for the tests. Let's start by taking a look inside the Teacher's Edition. The Teacher's Edition for economics is one volume. Here we have the table of contents with the unit titles, the chapter number and titles, and the features. You'll also see the page numbers. The notes will be along the bottom and side margins for you as the teacher. You'll want to be sure to notice the different icons throughout each of the lessons. These will signify an activity in the student activities manual, discussion ideas, Bible study, charts, graphs, and other visual aids, field trip ideas, further investigation or outside reading into a specific topic, web links, writing assignments. The group activities can easily be modified to be accomplished individually, or might be something that you'll want to include in a co-op class. The study of economics is tied to current events, so you'll want your student to incorporate current events into their daily lessons. You can do this by assigning the economics in the news activities at the start of each unit in your student activities manual. You can also utilize the stock market project from Chapter 8. You'll find instructions and explanations, as well as reproducible pages for that project at the back of the Teacher's Edition. At the beginning of the Teacher's Edition, we have the lesson plan overview. You'll see the chapter number and title across the top, as well as the topics, the page numbers for both the Teacher's Edition and the student textbook. You'll see the assignments and page numbers from your student's activities manual. And then in the last column, you'll see the content objectives and the worldview themes that will be highlighted in each lesson. This course is made up of 15 chapters divided into 5 units. The content of each chapter is designed to build on the content from the previous chapter, with the exception of chapters 7, 8, and 9. So you probably will want to teach the lessons in the order that they're presented in the book. Each unit will have the unit number and title and the chapters covered in that unit. You'll see each chapter number as well as its title and page number, and following each chapter will be a personal finance article. Let's take a look at a sample chapter. At the beginning of each chapter, you'll see the chapter objectives and the key worldview concepts that will be highlighted in these lessons. Each chapter is broken into different sections or lessons. The section objectives will also be listed in the side margin for you. Down here at the bottom, you'll see the lesson plan chart. You'll have the section title, the content covered in those lessons, the page numbers, and the days required to teach each lesson. In some cases, a lesson or section may only take one day to cover, while other lessons may span multiple days. The bottom bar includes the number of total days suggested for covering the content in this chapter, including a review day and a test day. Specific to Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, the content is so closely related that there has also been a combined Chapter 3 and 4 test provided. You can choose whether you want your child to take tests on each individual chapter, or if you would like to combine the chapters into one test. Next, you'll see the materials section. This will list different items that you may need as you teach this course. Some of these items may need to be prepared ahead of time, while other items can be printed from your parent account at the Homeschool Hub. Over here, you'll see different icons suggesting activities or further study opportunities. The margins of the Teacher's Edition will contain additional notes, information, or discussion points that you may want to bring up over the course of the lesson. Each section of your child's student textbook will end with some section review questions. The answers to these questions can be found in the bottom margin of your Teacher's Edition. When a new section starts, you'll see objectives for that section listed in the side margin as well. You'll notice that the icons mark activities that are to be completed in your student's activities manual. You'll also notice notes in the margin that refer back to a variety of visual aids, infographics, charts, biographical sketches, or other information in your child's student textbook. Each chapter will end with a chapter review. The chapter review contains content questions, application questions, and important terms highlighted in a green box with the page numbers listed. This will be a great study tool for your student as they prepare for their upcoming chapter test. At the end of each chapter is a personal finance article. You'll see that the layout is similar to the previous lessons. You'll see the article objective and additional notes here in the margin. You'll also see different icons suggesting different activities. Throughout the article, your student will notice important terms in boldface print. You'll notice that the personal finance article also ends with a review and important terms. The answers to the review questions are in the bottom margin. There will also be pages in your child's activity manual that will correspond to the personal finance articles. You can choose to have your student read and interact with the material in the personal finance articles as they come up throughout the course, or you can opt to save them and create a personal finance unit to be taught at the end of the course. Chapter 8 deals with the stock market. A stock market project will be assigned during Chapter 8. Information and instructions for the stock market project can be found at the end of your Teacher's Edition. You'll see instructions for the teacher and the student. There are also reproducible pages included to help your student complete this project. Next, let's take a look at your child's student textbook. Just like in the Teacher's Edition, your student will have a table of contents with the unit titles, the chapter number and title, and the personal finance articles, along with the page numbers where these items can be found. In economics, the term margin refers to value added. In this textbook, your student will find these boxes at the margin that are designed to add value to their studies in economics. The chapters will begin with the chapter number and title and the section titles. The different sections are highlighted along with their page numbers over here in the margin. Throughout the student text, your student will find charts, graphs, biographical information, and infographics to help them understand their study of economics. At the end of the section will be the section review questions and the title of the new section or lesson. Important terms are in boldface print. At the end of the chapter, your student will find a chapter review with content questions, application questions, and important terms highlighted in this green box. Following each chapter will be the personal finance article. Each article will end with some review questions and important terms. At the end of the student textbook, is a glossary with the important terms listed alphabetically along with their definitions. The glossary is followed by an index of the different terms and concepts taught in this course. Next, let's take a look inside of your child's Student Activities Manual and the answer key. The Student Activities Manual is a consumable work text designed to help your student practice and apply all that they have learned. The Student Activities Manual begins with a table of contents. It lists the unit number and title, each chapter, and the page numbers, along with the activity assignments for each chapter. The activity pages assigned for each chapter will be listed in your lesson plan overview, as well as in the margins of your teacher's edition for each section. Each chapter in the Student Activities Manual will end with a chapter review. These questions will help your student to study and prepare for their upcoming chapter test. You'll also find activity pages that correspond to the personal finance articles after each chapter. The Student Activities Answer Key contains the answers for the work text pages in your Student Activities Manual. The table of contents and page numbers will match the content and format of the Student Activities Manual. Here, you'll see Chapter 3, Activity 2, with the answers filled in for you. On the chapter review pages, you'll notice that the answers have been filled in for you, along with the page number where the answers are found. This will help in grading and in assisting your child to study for their upcoming tests. The included test packet will contain all of the chapter tests for all 15 chapters, plus a combined test for chapters 3 and 4. You'll also receive the corresponding answer keys, but to maintain test integrity, we won't be looking inside.